Okay, here we go. All right, guys, it's the big one. I'm going to share the 20 secrets um, how to be successful and happy with a minute till I share my screen. Share screen. I'm using Google Docs if you want to do this. You can do this as well. It's very unlikely I'll visit, but you know. All right, there we go. I finally got this thing working right. How to be as successful and happy as me. 20 ways. It's actually 24, but uh, make it 20, around about. Version 1, August 24. See that successful and happy, that's given me many sleepless moments. Try to decide which way around to make them, but that's another story. Yeah, version 1, August 24. And of course, the most important thing is money. Money is the root of all happiness, but I'm not going to include that. Oh, I don't think I did. So I've taken about at least 10 minutes to create this for you via Google Docs with lots of stressful moments because of the technical side. Okay, right, here we go. The first three I would put joint first, maybe two of them joint first, but very important. I'll come back to them because I could talk about them for ages because people are watching YouTube shots. Where is YouTube longs? We want long stuff. Yeah. So how to be as successful and happy as me. So the first three I'll show you quickly now. Number one, sleep on your back. And the reason is because that's the way you're built, symmetry and all that. Sleeping on your side is a big no-no. And I've changed my mind on sleeping on your front. I think sleeping in front is very bad for your neck, as long as you've but for the rest of your body, I suppose it's symmetrical, and you can also put your hands above your head, which seems a sort of stretching position, but apart from your neck. But I came up with a theory on the 15th of August, 24 as well, which I'll go at. Okay, I'll go in the next one. I didn't mean to do that. Number two, correct dysbiosis. I should say gut dysbiosis. This is actually the most important one of all, but because I've not sorted mine out, I didn't put it top because I haven't sorted it out. So, yeah, correct dysbiosis. And then the third one, silence. You've got silence and then you've got violent scenes or bad scenes. But I think silence is what gives your brain a rest, So if you're watching TV, I would advise muting it and putting the text on or whatever. If you're watching Love Island, if that's your way of relaxing, though I think long term it's bad for you. Yeah, you'd be better watching it without things, especially ads. Ads are the root of all evil and not all good for those making money out of it, but evil for the people watching because it's mindless. It's usually very loud and stuff, And I'll put in number 4 for you just now as well. Stretching. And this could mean yoga as well, It's the same thing to me. To me, yoga is stretching. I know that. Okay. So I think people do that, because you can still be miserable when you've done yoga or stretching, but you'll be very bendy, and I think you will be getting some of your stress out of your muscles and stuff, So stretching. I'll just go through them all now. I'll go through the next 4 then. Perfect sleep environment. I suppose it's a no-brainer, but a lot of people probably don't do anything about it, Thing about ear defenders is that would be noise reducing earbuds, but I would even wear ear defenders if necessary. The only thing is you can't sleep on your side. And the other thing about ear defenders is that it feels as if they crush my skull. I was wearing them that often, I don't think they're very good for you if you wear them all the time. Although a lot of people do for work, if you're guiding in airplanes and stuff like that all day out in the airfield, sleep mask, air cushions, all these sort of things. Okay. Yeah, number 6, relax on the floor. And what I mean by this is when you're having a break, rather than sitting somewhere, I mean, you should probably relax on the floor and maybe have board meetings on the floor and stuff, for relaxing on the floor. For a board meeting, you could have it so that you're all lying on the floor in a circle with your heads towards each other, and then you just aren't looking at each other. But the main thing is you're not fighting gravity, because when you're sitting down, you're always fighting gravity and that, Yeah, okay. Next one. Arms above the head. Yeah, this is just an idea I had. Like, say if you're sitting, if you put your arms above your head, that means you're into relaxed mode, and you're telling your body, okay, I'm in relaxed mode. You can do that when you're lying down with your knees up as well, on the floor. You could even do it in bed as well. I wonder if sleeping with your arms above your head all night, if there's any negative ramifications. Yeah, arms above the head. Protect the neck. Yeah, this is another thing I'm thinking of. Your neck seems to get a lot of your built up stress, and when you think your head's quite heavy, it's like 1 kilogram or 2 kilograms or something, and then you're having to balance it. Probably most of us haven't got it balanced right at all. Maybe a bit to the front like a vulture, and also maybe one side preference. You've probably got stress on your dominant side, and you're right for most people, on your left for left-sided people. Yeah, because I've said this before. Like one guy, I went to some guy about IBS, and he was a herbalist. I thought anyway, but he done something to my neck. He clicked it, and it was absolute euphoria for about 2 seconds. I thought he was going to break my neck, and he did. But then the stress just came right back, So yeah, and I'm thinking maybe you should, if a weightlifter lifts two dumbbells or even a barbell, probably they bring their shoulders up so their neck's not taking on a strain. So when you're bringing your messages home, you're shopping with your 2 bags, beans and diet iron brew and all that, just lift your shoulders up. It'll feel artificial, but the idea is to stop your neck getting it, So I'll go to the next ones. Air cushions, yes. I think air cushions are important. I'm finding to sit on, they're not so good, but for the back. But even though I'm not finding them good to sit on, I wouldn't give up. And probably you could use them everywhere, because I feel like, we're not totally straight. Our spines and back aren't totally straight. Air cushions could sort of fill that gap, You probably would use them in machines, like a car. I don't know. So why not humans? I'll probably go back to that. Yeah, go on holiday, even if alone, even if just for one day or something, just to recharge your mental battery, just for a change of scenery and that, away from your situation or whatever. Yeah, go on holiday, because I think I read recently that the majority of people going on holiday are on their own. I don't know if that's true or not. And when you think it could be true, because if a family are going on holiday, I mean, that's 4 or 5 people, so that would take 4 or 5 people going alone to negate that family. So maybe that's true, I don't know. 11, retreats. Yeah, retreats. Yeah, I sort of added this one, but I think it's a good idea. I've seen things like this before, where they walk over coals and all that, burning coals, and of course you're around like-minded people that will for that concept anyway. Doesn't mean you are really like-minded, but it does in the sense that he's no using to chill out or whatever, Okay, I'll go on to the next one. Yeah, the joy of DIY. I think this is one of my most important ones, because you're sorting things out, you're solving problems, and it's going to give you a subconscious high, you know. So if you're Saturday to do, or you're depressed, you can paint a door, and oh, it's away. Where'd it go? Yeah. And then the next one, be as a tortoise. Well, obviously, me being the hare, but that's why I intentionally chose that, so I could just throw stuff onto YouTube, you know. I knew my reviews would be rubbish, really, so the hare. I think the hare and the tortoise is the best child story, you know, as I think me. Because the tortoise is the one that, you know, gets the degrees and stuff, you know. Be as a tortoise. And you're never alone with YouTube. I've sort of put this the wrong way around because there's two aspects to YouTube. One, to make money off, which I think is very important, like what I'm trying to do now, you know. Because you could solve the unemployment problem, you know, if the benefits office took the right attitude, but they've got the wrong attitude, mainly because of the politicians and the government have got the wrong attitude toward it. They're not thinking we could get all these people off benefits by them doing stuff on YouTube, you know. Even Twitch, you know, Twitch, a lot of them just do just chatting, quite a lot. A lot of them will do ASMR as well, but just chatting. Yes, but these people are making a fortune, you know. It's not even that they're not even working class level of money that they're starting to make, you know. They're into the middle class. Okay, on the next one. Yeah, and touch with your aggression. This is for people, most of us, I think, want to be nice, you know. This isn't aggressive people, because aggressive people are in touch with aggression, you know. So what I'm meaning is usually people will be taught how to be assertive, but I think, first of all, you've got to know what you've got your aggression there, so that you know that you'll protect yourself in a situation or whatever, you know. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about. I was 16. Think income, not job. Yeah, this is the thing I was talking about with YouTube. Job centres should be based around passive income, you know. Get off that base. Because I just saw in the news yesterday or something, there was some guy, he was arrested for something that he was actually went to prison for it. But it turned out he said he was earning 12,000 a year on Twitter. And I don't know, how do you make money on Twitter? I don't know how are they making money on Twitter? But it just goes to show you there's lots of ways of making easy passive income. You know, like what I'm doing just now, you could do that, and if you have a hit with your Twitter list, you might get 1 million views, and you know that might be, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah, so you're wanting to try and get to passive income, really. Well, I'm calling it passive income. It's not really, you know, YouTube and Twitch. Well, people are saying Twitter, I don't know. Yeah, think about it. Yeah, 17, get a bike. Probably an e-bike. An e-bike's better, you know, because an e-bike means you're still pedalling, but you're also getting that superhuman boost. You know, the first time I thought getting an e-bike was when someone overtook me on an e-bike. It was some guy must maybe coming home from work or something, an office job, lots of office job stuff in his rack. And then it was just, I was thinking, how is this guy catching up with me? I don't understand, you know. And then, he's got an e-bike, you know. Yeah, I think e-bikes are joyful, but also have a car as well, because then you can take your e-bike to beautiful areas, you know. You're not stuck in your own area. No, definitely get a car as well, you know. So an e-bike and in the driveway, a BMW. Yeah, buy yourself weekly nice things, you know. That can just be a treat. I don't know, a trifle, you know, something like that, something different. Not much, you don't need to spend much, or something that's really good. Well, I just got a 2 terabyte micro SD card from AliExpress for about £3 or something, you know. That made me very happy. Yeah, get a cat, plants, you know. Yeah, because a cat you don't have to walk, 20, look at active relaxing techniques, and that can involve buying, what would you call them? Things like face massagers or all that sort of stuff. A TENS machine maybe, just to try, And then you get deep breathing. You could do that when you're doing long journeys in the car. Hopefully you don't fall asleep or, become unconscious or anything. Yeah, you could go for massages or whatever, all that sort of thing. 21. Yeah, write a self-help book for money, because there's two good things about this, or YouTube. There's two good things. You can, you might make money off it, if you put it in Amazon, or just put it in YouTube, like what I'm doing here. Also, it'll make you focus and think about it. So that's another thing. And also, it might help other people, So, so for the first two reasons, especially making money, I think money is everything. Try for passive, When I say money is everything, what I mean is you're wanting a baseline amount, say 15,000 a year, 20,000 a year. Then you can think of careers or whatever. If you don't like a job, you can leave it, I think if people could just leave a job, on day two or whatever, the world would be a better place. It would be more productive, because then you're not stuck in a job. The way it is, it's all the employer that's got all the cards at the moment, because they can even put you on trial on their workplace. So they don't like you or whatever, they can just get you off. Whereas if you don't like it working for them, technically you're not meant to just dump it. But that's why I'm saying you should try for passive money, so that, because the aim should be for people doing a job that's happy. I mean, really the aim at the moment is for people to be working 9 to 5. They're not even thinking sensibly. I think it should be a 32-hour week anyway for jobs that are tough, Even like the police, I feel sorry for the police or doctors. Yeah, if people are happy, they're going to be more productive. So generally, it should be 32-hour weeks for those sort of jobs that you need to turn up or whatever. What else? You can work from home if you can. Because I know that, so one party was going on that how dare they work from home or whatever, but it's productivity that's the baseline, If it's more productive and people are happier, productivity and happiness are the two things that we're maybe looking at. And also with all this AI stuff, on the one hand, the government are telling us we need population growth, and then on the other hand, they're telling us automation and AI are going to put everybody out of job. So we've got these two conflicting things. I think it's going to be more the latter, So, but anyway, you want to try for passive, like YouTube, Twitch, yeah, and the basic psychology techniques in general. The tense muscles, you tense your muscles and you relax them, tense and relax. And that's so you understand your muscles. You're even conditioning them, and you'll be getting to notice. You'll be getting your brain, training your brain, what it feels like and how it should feel relaxed. So deep breathing, you can do that. Distraction. I mean, distraction's really reading a book is distraction, So painting a door, anything is sort of, then you're reinforcing good things, because list your fears in order, top 10, what are you afraid of, and then work your way up, that sort of thing. These are basic psychology techniques. I would expect a competent psychologist to sort of thing with that. When I say competent, that's the important word, a lot of them probably won't. Yeah, because a loud noise, what's your baseline? What's your baseline relaxation in general? If you hear a loud noise, do you jump? Well, you shouldn't jump, because you should be relaxed. It shouldn't. So if you're jumping, then you're twitchy and you're not in a very good overall relaxed situation. So go to a monastery for 3 months, a vow of silence monastery. No, because I think sleeping on your back for 24 hours, I'm not sleeping, just lying there in silence or whatever, I think that's recharging, Whereas maybe if you go to, well, certainly if you go shopping or something, that's not going to change your overall general relaxation, probably, unless you really enjoy it. Or even going to the beach because you've got all that noise. People, there might be stressful moments, loud noises. But then you've got the sunbathers. I mean, the psychology of sunbathing, I can see this. I mean, I don't like sunbathing partly because, well, I'm always uptight and plus it's bad for you. Gives you skin cancer, so, but yeah, what was I talking about anyway? You get the idea, don't you? Yeah. 24. Yeah, this is another one I'd put further up. Squat sit. I'm going to do it just there. It's where you sit squatting, with your knees bent. Because that lets your spine totally relax, Toddlers do it, and a lot of places around the world, people do sit like this. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the way we're meant to sit, we probably sat this way before chairs was invented, rather than on our bum or knees or whatever, and toddlers sit this way, if they're playing at a curb or whatever, the water down the drain or whatever. Yeah, and of course that's a yoga pose as well, maybe you can do that with the sort of praying position, isn't it? I think to move their knees out, So I think you should encompass that regularly. So squat sitting, lying on the floor, all of this so you're not crunching up your spine on a chair. Your chair should have air cushions and stuff anyway, or padding at least. Mess about with cushions, especially air cushions, I think. So 24 squats. Yeah, this is another thing. This is to give your dominant side a rest, If you're drinking a cup of tea, use your weaker arm or your unnatural arm. All footballers should be ambidextrous, Yeah, give your dominant side a rest, basically. Everything. And finally, be nice to yourself. So how many was that? 25 things? If be nice to yourself. I'll go back and I'll maybe elaborate. Sleep on your back. Yeah. And I came up with a theory the other night, by the way, 15th of August, 24. And my theory is if you sleep on your side, which I think is the worst position, because there's like 3 positions you can be. You can be on your back, which is the way you'll be lying in your coffin for a reason, because that's the way your body is. They're not going to put you in your coffin lying on your side or on your belly, because that's how we're designed, so that's how you're meant to sleep. But I came up with this theory the other night. Yeah, and then I would say the second way is on your belly, which is bad for your neck, for sure. There's no way you can. But for your spine and that, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe you need a slightly inflated air cushion around your belly or whatever to keep that bit up, because you want to keep your spine straight, really. But then the other way is on your side, which is a total disaster, really, And then if you're sleeping on your front, don't use a pillow, because if you use a pillow, then you're sort of putting your neck back. It's just So, yeah. So, but the worst one is sleeping on your side. And I've came up with a theory for this. I think it's your gut microbiome that wants you to sleep on your side, because that way your complex carbs and your fibre and that will be lying in it. They'll be lying in a cesspool of your complex carbs and fibre in your large intestine, either on your right side, which is the start of your large intestine, or your left side, which is the end of your large intestine, because your large intestine goes up, across, and down, and that's where your gut flora is meant to be. The only place it's meant to be, really. It's not meant to be in your small intestine. And I've got a theory that it may be a lot of rubbish, but they like you sleeping on your side, your gut microbiome, because then your cesspool of complex carbs and fibre are all there, and then they can have a good feast there. And I think it's the main reason that people have sleeplessness is gut fermentation. They fermentate all night on their complex carbs through the next morning, and then they start to feel tired when the dysbiosis party is over, just when you're about to wake up, So that's my new theory. I don't know. And then another thing is, I think people associate gurgling with a bad sign and that you need to eat, but I think it might actually be your intestine healing. And then the worst thing you can do is start eating. It's just an idea I had, I don't know. It's things to think about when you're not unable to sleep, So the sleep on your back, I think, is the ideal thing. And the other thing I think may be good for sleeping on your back is it may be bad for your dysbiosis, because it means that you're not on your either side, so that they can feast. When you're on your back, your intestine is the way it's meant to be. Maybe your peristalsis is moving normally and all that. And so So what I'm saying is your gut microbiome is stopping you from sleeping, and sleeping your back, you're helping your get rid of your dysbiosis by that as well. All right, and of course that's the way you're built to sleep on your back. Because the other good thing about sleeping on your back is it means your head's going back. Because I think most of us all day the head's going forward in a vulture way, and your head's quite heavy and on it. So all your long-term stress in your neck is because you're always forward. And if you're sleeping on your side, you'll probably get your head forward again. You're not got it back. But if you're sleeping on your back, even gravity is pulling it back, If you're sleeping on your front, well, if you hold your head back a bit, not up, but I don't know, that sort of thing, on your front's not ideal, but I think it's better than your side. Another thing about sleeping on your side, and I wonder if that's sort of a psychological thing to do with, where we came from. I'm being careful for ads reasons, because maybe it's to take you back to the, psychological thing. All right, something to think about, All right, so this is really the important one, really. Correct gut dysbiosis. I thought I corrected this, but it never turned out. No, didn't. Yeah, gut dysbiosis. I mean, there's two main types. I would say, like your gut microbiome is meant to be in your colon. That's all. You've got three parts to your intestine. You've got your stomach, which is just a small ball, really. It's just a preparation room. You've got your small intestine, which is a very long, thin pipe that winds across itself in your middle. When you think you've got a sore tummy, it's actually your small intestine that you've got a sore small intestine. This is where all of your absorption goes on. So you don't want to be competing. You don't want your gut microbiome to be eating it instead of you. So, and this is a sort of sieve that only lets small things into your blood system. They go into the hepatic vein first usually, and then into the liver to get cleansed, to be put into your main bloodstream. Yeah. So you've got your small intestine, and then you've got a valve, and it goes through to your colon, and your valve's round about your appendix, ileocecal valve. Then your colon is a wide, short pipe, and that goes up your right side, across your middle, and down the other side, and then you dump everything out. So it's really just that's your sort of waste and recycling place, really. You're still getting stuff out of that. You're recycling vitamin K and B vitamins, biotin. But of course, it's mainly waste and all that as well. And this is where you're a bit like a sheep and a cow, because sheep and cows, they don't have digestive enzymes. It's gut microbiome's the only thing that keeps them alive by fermenting stuff. But I think the problem is most of us ferment far too much. So you can have two main types of gut dysbiosis. You can ferment too much. You've got too much of a normal gut microbiome. So that'll cause problems, even just in the colon itself. And I'll call it large intestine bacterial overgrowth. And that's not recognised as a concept yet by the mainstream medicine or even enlightened functional medicine types. Apart from, I think I think you should check out Dr. Norm Robillard's theory on this. Basically, he thinks we've got an obese gut microbiome, and I agree with him. I think I found out about him around about February this year, but I was going along that way anyway. So it was really, and it's me and him against everybody else basically on the gut microbiome, I think, at the moment, really. Because everyone else is saying probiotics is good. Have more fibre, have probiotics, drink the little probiotic drinks, eat yogurt, eat fibre, take complex carbs. And me and him are saying, you're eating far too much of that. Your gut flora is too big, basically. If you've got a problem, you feel there. So I was saying that gut dysbiosis, it can be the normal dysbiosis too big, and then it can sneak up into the small intestine, and then you're competing with it for food. If you're like this, possibly I think the main sign is you'll have bloating all the time. And the other sign is that you'll love sugar, complex carbs, because it's not you're actually feeding, it's your gut microbiome is asking to be fed. So, and then you're fermenting and you're producing alcohols and all sorts of things. So I wonder if this might be the reason for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. A lot of women have got non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and they don't drink. And this thing about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a lot of people have got it. It's very common, even if they don't drink. And it's probably the more sensitive people. And I'm saying that the reason is probably because they're fermenting. So most of the time they're going around not drunk to the levels of drinking beer or whatever, but they've always got tiny bit of alcohol in their system from eating complex carbs, sugar, fibre, all the things we're supposed to eat, apart from sugar, we're not. And then even if you drink the diet drinks, I think those sweeteners are prebiotics that feed gut bacteria. So it's always you think you're doing something good for yourself, but it turns out it's actually the your obese gut microbiome that's wanting to be fed, So what the answer is in a moment, I don't know. So let's see. Apart from Dr. Norm, he's got a diet and all that, but I think I need to be stricter even in his. He says that jasmine rice is all right because it's not got It's not got that sheath over it, and that's why it's sticky, because it's not got that protective sheath, which means that humans struggle to digest it. So it gets further down your intestine, especially your large intestine, and there the bacteria feed off it. Whereas with jasmine rice, which is our sticky rice, hasn't got that protective sheath. But that's got a very high sugar thingy, and you absorb that easily higher up. But I found that it gave me a sore stomach, as I'll call it. But actually, I'm meaning it gave me a sore small intestine. So for me, jasmine rice is out. Really, all rice is out. He does say that in one of his pages, that if you've got small intestine bacteria or overgrowth, even jasmine rice is probably out. Yeah, he's an interesting character because he was a microbiologist. He knew about the gut microbiome, but that wasn't what his focus was. He was doing lots of things. But the reason he came up with his theory was that as he got through his 30s and that, he always had a slight problem with acid reflux. But as he got through his 30s, or whatever you call it, it got worse and worse. And what he found is sometimes when he was doing maybe keep fit diets, for weight training stuff, which was high protein, low carb, he found that his acid reflux improved. And yeah, then he thought, that's when he came up with his theory. Well, maybe it's because my gut microbiome's too big, and it's just the wind pressure's coming back, and it's just causing that valve to go up. He's getting acid reflux, so he's got an excellent way of proving his theory. Really, really. So that's why. Yeah, it's amazing. And at the moment, it's me and Dr. Norm versus the world, it seems, on this theory, because we're getting told to drink more and more probiotics. I mean, I've been thinking this for a while, because I was the opposite. I was probiotic mad, but then I always felt ill on it. But the final nail in the coffin for me was taking those little Yakult type drinks, those probiotic drinks. It wasn't even Yakult, it was another brand. But I was taking that daily. I think kefir as well. And I was feeling worse and worse. And it was migraine getting right up my neck, permanent, all over the scalp. And then I realised I'm probably giving myself D-lactic acidosis here. And if you want to know more about this, that's like being drunk all the time, fermentation. If you want to know more about that, ask a farmer, because sheep get it and cows get it. And like I say, they depend on their gut microbiome for their diet. They don't have their own digestive enzymes. If you took the gut microbiome out of a sheep, it would die, because it can't, no matter how much food you gave it, because it can't do anything with it. It can't break it down. So I think really the gut flora is underestimated, but I think at the moment society's went the wrong way, And another thing, when you hear about small intestine bacterial overgrowth and all that, that's where the gut flora's moved up to the small intestine. If you look at their forums, the people just can't seem to solve it. It wouldn't surprise me if it is pretty easily solvable, but the medical system just hasn't worked. At the moment, they would just say take a week and then you'll be all right. But there's something you've got to sort out, whatever the root cause is. It's probably a lot of it's to do with your diet. A lot of us are sensitive people, I think. So if you're sensitive, then you're going to be prone to dysbiosis, and then the dysbiosis is going to grow because of your diet and stuff. Yeah. And apparently, I think Dr. Norm says that a sign of, gut dysbiosis or overgrowth, is where firmicutes become the main family. And I had that in a test, firmicutes, or I don't know how to say the words, because the two main groups are firmicutes and bacteroids, I think. I think that's about 90%. But having said that, really, we're at the kindergarten stage of understanding the microbiome. I'm talking about the experts. I mean, it's worth listening to Dr. Norm and the likes of the Pimentel lab on small testing. They're so slow and they're old school. Bring a paper out every 5 years stuff. Take 5 years to do a paper, that sort of thing. And I think they're behind the curve anyway. But the medical system listens to him anyway. So what's his name? Mark Pimentel. And then you've got the other one, Spector, Professor Spector in London. Yeah. Yeah, they're all worth listening to. I mean, Dr. Norm's my guru. And even with him, I disagree a bit. But the other two I respect, but I think they're a bit behind the curve. But the main thing is, these sort of doctors, they'll be driving top of the range BMWs now, but then in 10 years' time, the theory might be, no, that was all nonsense or whatever. This is what it is now. And then 10 years' time, maybe, no, that's nonsense. This is what it is now. But through all that, they'll all be driving top of the range BMWs, whereas you, the poor person, you'll be the one. So, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. So start making YouTube videos about it and try and make a bit of money, at least, And your theory's maybe even as good as anybody else's at the moment. That's what I'm trying to say as well. Yeah, I think the simple test for this would be an abdomen ultrasound, but it's quite hard to get one. I mean, there are private companies now to do it, even in city centres. But I think they're designed for pregnant women, so they might not want you there, No, we want pregnant women. Everything's nice. We just want pregnant women. They don't want losers coming in to have their abdomens come. But we're not that far away where you'll be able to have a home test anyway, just by your own device. So once that happens, that'll be Liberation Day, basically. Yeah, you want to find out basically where the gas is. Is it just in your large intestine where it's meant to be? Is it just on the left side where it probably should be only? Or is it right up your small intestine as well? It shouldn't be there. You shouldn't have any gas there. Yeah. So I've talked about that long enough, I think. Let's see what else I wrote here. Yeah, your digestion is your small bowel, your stomach, just a preparation room. The acidity in your stomach is like hydrochloric acid. It's like 1 or something. It could burn a hole through a wooden table. And then you've got 2 pipes. Your thin, long, small intestine where you absorb stuff, and that's maybe free of microbiome, really. And your short, wide, large intestine, which is your waste and recycling place, your fermentation place. Yeah, it's only in your stomach like 20 minutes. Small intestine's your main place absorption. Yeah, so if you eat a lot of sugar and complex carbs and that, and then you eat a lot of sweeteners, if they are prebiotics, you need to check. Dr. Norm's got a diet list, you can check that, but even still, I think you're going to have to adapt to suit. And of course, I haven't sorted mine out, so that's why I made it number 2. It should be number 1, really. Okay, on the next one. Yeah, silence. Yeah, I think this is overlooked. If I was a stop the campaigner, out in the streets, stopping traffic and stuff, which would be quite a good thing because it would stop all the noise. This is what I feel like getting out in the streets for, and climbing buildings or whatever. We need silence. All our homes, they never take noise pollution into account. A lot of people think they live in a silent home, but they might live next to a road, or they might be kids playing all the time outside or something, or it might even just be a thoroughfare where a lot of people walk by. So all these things, I mean, the most drastic thing to do is ear defenders. I mean, if I was in charge of noise for the council or whatever, I'd probably be giving ear defenders out to people quite a lot. But they're quite heavy in that, you know, they're not comfy, you know, because you could sneak a earbud in to listen to the TV or whatever you're listening to. So I think noise cancelling earbuds should be a thing that most of us are wearing in the shops and that, on the train and stuff. You know, I think people really underestimate the need for silence. And I'm not just talking about when you're somewhere silent. I'm talking about, like I say, background noises. Although it can be nice background noises, you know, if you're out in a countryside. But then there might be a tractor in the background, that may be annoying. But yeah, because I saw this documentary about somebody from a farm, a lady from a farm who went to Liverpool Uni, and she was staying in the student accommodation, and she said, I can't believe that city people live with all this noise, you know, because it's probably accommodation next to a main road, and she's used to total silence at night, you know, and so that would be that's where I would be stopping the traffic for, and then it would make the traffic silent for a while, you know, so that would be even a great thing for that. And then all our homes should be silent, you know, so if you get a bad neighbour, you can't hear them, you know, because usually if you get a bad neighbour, you can't hear them. You can even hear a good neighbour, usually, you know, if they're coughing or sneezing or even talking like I'm doing just now, you know, so yeah, silence is very important. Stretching, yeah, just do any stretching. I mean, over time, you'll probably start looking at yoga, which is fine. I mean, to me, yoga is just a natural stretching. Yeah, we should all be yoga people, you know. And when I say stretching, I mean when you're on a work break or whatever, or every 2 hours, you know, if you've just come back from a journey, or even stop during a journey, do a bit of stretching. You can even just do in a car, you can just put your hands on the roof and just put it back. I'm talking about when you're sitting, you know, stretching. So I think stretching is very important. Cats do it all the time, and, you know, I'm getting a bit tired now, you know. All right, I'll keep going. Let's perfect sleep environment. Yeah, I was watching. I mean, the problem with this is it might cost a bit, or you need to experiment, and that'll cost a bit. I mean, I know that Tempur say they have a 90-day guarantee. If you don't like your mattress, you can take it back. But how many people do that? You know, I'm presuming very few do that, or they wouldn't give the 90-day offer. You know, so buying a mattress is really, I still haven't figured it out, right? Really, you know. But two interesting anecdotes about this is I saw some guy who's helped the Tour de France cyclists and that recently on a video, and someone was asking him, what advice have you got for cyclists on a tour like that? And I think the first thing he says was make sure they take a good mattress with them. I think that's the way he said it, to be funny, but what he was really meaning was, you know, having a comfy seat during the day, if at night you're going and sleeping on a hammock, basically, you know, because most of us sleep in hammocks, hammock mattresses, where you're all slumped, you know. So that was a good point. And another interesting story was Aberdeen Football Club won the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1983, I think, under Alex Ferguson, and against Real Madrid. It was the European Cup Winners' Cup, and it must have been the 20th anniversary, and I saw a documentary on it, and Alec McLeish and that were talking that they were staying at a nice Swedish hotel the night before, and they slept on the floor because the mattresses were so soft. You know, and the Swedish hotel being upmarket probably thought soft mattress, that's what's nice. But they were doing the opposite. They were sleeping on the floor, you know. And it is just ironic if you ever see that game, to think that a lot of them were sleeping on the floor. not all of them probably, but a few of them. Because to most people, sleeping on the floor is barbaric or whatever, you know. I think if you get a bit of cushioning, you know, like a carpet or a rug, I mean, I think sleeping on the floor would be the ideal way. On your back, probably with your knees up. I can't think of. I tried it for a while because I've pulled a tendon or cartilage in my back. I tried to get a barbell through a kitchen door. Just disaster. And people who like the Bruins annuals will know that quite often, if Grandpa's got lumbagos playing up, they'll put him to bed on a back door, on a door. So in the Bruins, put a door in the bed, and that's where he's to sleep on, Grandpa Brun. You know, and the idea's not that daft. Because when you're sleeping on your floor, your soft tissue's getting a rest, you know. But I mean, the best thing is a good mattress. I don't know what a good mattress is. Most of us probably get a slump in the middle, you know. So is it a pocket sprung is the best type? You know, I don't know. It's really important. Probably the most important thing because you spend most of your time there. Was it a third of your life or a half of your life? Yeah, and a lot of people probably are in a bad mood because of not having good sleep. As I say, that may be because of fermentation, but also maybe because of terrible mattress and sleeping environment. You know, yeah, you should sleep mask if you need. They're really comfy now, sleep masks. They never used to be, but even the Home Bargains one is comfy now. Ear defenders if necessary. Although ear defenders, I think, cave your skull in a bit. I'm not sure, but I've gone off ear defenders a bit, but for taking sound out, they're excellent, you know. So maybe more noise cancelling earbuds or whatever. Ear cushions, I think, are important in bed as well because we're not totally flat. You've got these sort of gaps. Why not the air cushion? You know, if it's smaller your back, maybe even your bum, lift your bum up, or maybe even your legs a bit, I don't know. Yeah. What is the next thing? Relax on the floor. As I was saying, instead of sitting relaxing in a chair, relax on the floor instead. So lie down with your knees up, arms above head. It's not a very good feeding position because you've got to put your arms up. But for things like listening to podcasts like this, you know, top quality podcasts, I think it's good for your back. It's better than a seat, I think, because you're taking off gravity. You're giving your soft tissue a rest. As I say, you could do it in a work meeting. You could all, with your heads facing each other in a circle, and then you're not looking at each other, so you take that anxiety away. Yeah, you know, that sort of thing. You can even add your arms above your head for an extra boost, in my opinion. Yeah, so that could be your 10-minute rest or your 15-minute rest. And then back up to your chair again or whatever, you know, for your office work or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, this arms thing, this is a thing I just came up with. Yeah. Because you're giving yourself a good stretch that way. Even if you're in a chair, and it can be your brain a sign that you're to relax. You know, you're giving yourself a sign. And it's more comfier, I think, because you're taking the strain off your neck again. You're giving your back a stretch. That's the opposite of how your shoulder muscles usually are. So I think it's that. And you can do it in the car, not when you're driving, obviously. If you're stopped in your journey, in the family, you can all put your arms above your head. Something to think about, innit? Yeah, protect the neck. This is because I think this might be. Is this what this Alexander technique's about? You know, if you go and see somebody about the Alexander technique, therapist, professional, quote, professional. You'll go in the room and they'll say, hello, take a seat, stand up, sit down, stand up. And they seem to be obsessed with how you sit, stand up. And I think it's to do with your neck. They feel they want to get your neck aligned, you know, because your head's so heavy. Is my mic still working? Yeah, so you can do things like squeeze your neck. You know, you might see 100 metres runners doing that when they're waiting to go to the starting position. Squeeze your neck to get to that tension, because I think that's the main place that you build your, because the neck's so intricate, and it's to hold your head up, which is pretty heavy. And then another thing, say if you're doing your shopping, bring your shoulders up and maybe back a bit, so that it's the shoulders that are taking the weight, it's not your neck. You know, because if you put your shoulders down, probably your neck's involved as well, you know. Give your neck a rest, basically. Protect your neck. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to think about it. The joy of ear cushions. Yeah, I think ear cushions, I've been experimenting with these, definitely for the back, I think, and the different inflated things. And I prefer those ones, you know, you get ones with a pump so you can change it, continually change it. I would probably only buy them now. I buy the ones that are sort of Velcro feeling or furry feeling. Furry. Teddy fleece. I'm a big Teddy fleece fan. Right. But you can even use them in bed as well, you know, if a small your back. If you had one of those those pump ones. And you've got to keep experimenting, because sometimes I think, oh, this is me, I'm comfy, but I'm not really actually. But I don't know till later. And then another thing is, a change is as good as a rest. So say if you've got it in the car, you can go, well, I've done 100 miles now with this. I don't want it now. You know, and then that's your back's getting a change and maybe better for it, you know. So, because the good thing about cushions is you don't need to use them if you don't want to, or you can add as many as you like. You can inflate them as much as you like. As I say, I've not, for sitting on, I've not found a good balance for air cushions yet. I'm sure I will, you know. But even ordinary cushions, you know, you should be messing about with them, experimenting. You know, don't rely on a seat or a car seat to be comfy, even if it's expensive. Some of them might not that, really. You know, with air cushions, you can decide yourself. So I think everyone should be using these, experimenting, preferably the ones that pump up and you can deflate easily, so you can sort of get the right. Yeah, because I think about mattresses as well. I think for people who are prone to bed sores, you know, maybe they've had a stroke or they can't move, they're paralysed, they've got those special mattresses that I think they're pocket sprung, electronically pocket sprung, so that you can change every ear pocket up and down, spring pocket or whatever. Probably those mattresses are what all layers should have, you know, but they're probably ultra expensive. And even if you get that, maybe it'll turn out they're not, you know. But yeah, on to the next one. Yeah, go on holiday, you know. A change is as good as a rest. It gets you out of your situation. Because I have been places in Scotland, you know, where somebody's asked me, is this visitor centre open or something? So obviously they're on their own or whatever. Or, well, at least they are. Yeah. Going on holiday is better than not going on holiday, you know what I mean? I mean, if you've nobody to go on holiday with, it means you might never go on holiday, you know? So definitely go on holiday. You've got a right to a holiday. And that might even mean just staying in your car somewhere overnight. Anything, you know. Camping, wild camping. Yeah, because you just need a different scenario. Beauty spot, gets you out of a situation, mental situation. Recharge. I'm going to start using the word recharge a lot. Yeah. Number 11, retreats. Yeah, I think retreats are a good idea. As I say, I saw that one where they were walking over hot coals at night and stuff. Yeah, to recharge, basically. I'm talking about fighting here and all this, but like, if I was a government in charge of prisons or whatever, fighting people need assertive training. They need to learn how to control their temper, basically. But a lot of people need to learn how to get in touch with their temper, before they even go to assertiveness. So these nice people are getting taught assertive training. Well, it's good if you can do assertiveness, but I think, first of all, you need to get in touch with your temper, so it's there. But yeah, retreats, all sorts of retreats. Recharge. I mean, the government should do that for people who are unemployed and stuff, to get them in the mental. Make it an option. Long term. Okay, I think this is very important, actually. The joy of DIY. Have you ever met a depressed plumber? When a plumber meets you in your house, he's thinking of your U-bend, he's thinking how, look at the state of their U-bend or whatever, or that sort of thing. Don't know about an electrician, that's a bit more complicated, but yeah, a painter, yeah, that's a good thing. So if it's Saturday night, you're depressed, nothing to do, paint a door. Because you're solving problems, you're giving your subconscious a high, because that's one of the ways the subconscious works. It likes to, its ego rubbed, basically, in a real way, not in a way it's artificial, So if in doubt, paint the door. Yeah, that sort of thing. No, as I say, at your depression classes, I think it's very doubtful you meet a depressed plumber or a depressed painter decorator, because they're getting their high, they're solving problems. All right. Yeah, number 13, be as a tortoise, This is called hair reviews for a reason. I just wanted to throw stuff up like this. But you should be like the tortoise. And that can actually mean walking about in slow motion. Possibly you should just do this in the Home Alone, Do you, say when you decide to go to bed, do you just switch everything off as fast as you can and dive into bed or whatever? Well, what you should do is slow motion. You should maybe even lie on the floor for a few minutes or whatever. Maybe lie on the floor next to your bed and you might fall asleep there on your back. So that's win, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes you should slow motion, which to you will feel like slow motion, but to everyone else, probably you're a hare or a greyhound. You walk about all fast. You move about in jerky movements with your neck, and so what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're 14, you're never alone with YouTube. This is non-financial aspect, not making content, just looking, because there's people on Twitch, there's some people on 24 hours a day, but they do reruns and stuff. They're making good money. They're probably upper middle class, maybe even higher than that. And you can watch them and it's sort of, I think it's better for you than watching TV and that, and YouTube. Long podcasts like this, top quality podcasts. It's interacting with people in a way, or learning stuff. I mean, the two main things are, is it informative or is it entertaining? I think, is that the two main things? So you're never alone with YouTube. So if you can't think of anything to do, look at YouTube, or Twitch. Yeah, don't forget Twitch actually, because there's a lot of good people in there. And actually, I saw Limmy the comedian there. Scots people will probably know Limmy. He became a sort of hit trendy comedian 10 years ago, or whatever. Then he seemed to disappear, but that doesn't mean he's not making money on the comedy circuit, you know that. But then I was looking at Twitch, and it turns out he's gaming on Twitch, just playing games of it. It's a camera of him, and then with the game, and people are tipping him or giving him subscriptions. Apparently, the subscription thing in Twitch is a big money maker. A lot of the females do ASMR. They might do chatting a lot of the time. Then they'll do ASMR on reruns. Yeah, because ASMR is a good background thing, you know. If you're painting your door, ASMR might be a good, the nice sounds and stuff, you know. It means you're not hearing your noisy neighbour. If you're wearing ear defenders with a Bluetooth earbud and stuff like that, you know. Okay. Yeah, that was that thing I was saying about with the retreat, you know. You need to get in touch with aggressive first, then you're assertive, you know. If you're in a prison, you'll almost definitely you'll need to be focused on assertiveness. If you're a prison governor or minister, I mean home minister, political minister. Well, I'm a minister as well, probably. Yeah. Whereas for normal people, they're usually too nice, and you're actually having them to get in touch with their temper, you know. And don't be a part of another person's film. That's where you can end up. You end up, you're in the other person's, you're a bit part in somebody else's movie, you know, because they're always going to be in control of the situation. And then the other thing is, don't let them set the narrative. This is the same idea. You know, there's maybe, this is how it is. You'll need to think of them. And if you're doing a lot of these things, they'll not be able to pigeonhole you that way, you know. Because some people, they can't just live and let live, you know. You have to be in a situation, I don't know. But then this is how a lot of these things come about, you know, these big things that come up in the media. I don't even want to say them in case the lads don't like it, you know. And a lot of people come out and say this and that. I mean, how did that guy get by all those years without anybody saying anything? You know, those situations. You know, I can think of the movie producer, big movie thing and that, you know. But then when you're in those situations, everyone's isolated and they don't want the police involved or something, you know, they don't want that. But there's no outlet, you know, to, well, you know, not at all. I'll go into something else. Yeah, I think income, not job. I think this is what job centres and Minister for Employment should be thinking about. When somebody comes in, they should be thinking, can we get them to make money on YouTube? You know, that they like doing. No, because Mr. Beast, like, you can't get any more. And then PewDiePie, you know, he's chucked it, basically. I don't blame him. You know, he's probably still not making millions a year on passive income. You know, I mean, he's went to Japan now, hasn't he? He's really, and I can understand that. First he went to Brighton, I think. And it was sort of just making silly daily videos of about town and stuff. But now he's just chucked it all together. I don't blame him, you know. I mean, if you've got enough money, you don't need to do anything, you know. That's the irony. The thing is that people have got the money can do things, and the people that haven't got the money, they can't experiment, creating, you know, doing things for money. I mean, they're always struggling financially. So you really want out of that. You want to think, come YouTube, Twitch. This is what job centres should be doing. As I say, somebody was jailed yesterday. It turned out he said he was making about 12,000 a year on Twitter. I don't know how you make money on Twitter, but there's all these sort of things. You've got affiliate links, you've got for Amazon, you've got, the job centre should be telling you about these things. You've got, what else? All these things where you're an affiliate link or you're making videos for YouTube. You're a creator. I would call them influencers or content creators. Although maybe I'm influencing here, in a good way. Maybe I want to influence the government, the Prime Minister and I should on this. They should listen to me on this. People should be looking to me. What I would call passive income, but it's not really. Because you're creating content. Content creators, yeah, do that, Because these people, a lot of them are, as I say, are upper middle class now, or even more. I think, because some of them tell you how much, which I'm grateful for. Yeah, one of them, the lady who was telling us, she'd done a cover of a song. I think it's her most watched video ever. I don't know how many million, but it was a Dire Straits song. Their most famous one, which Songs of Swing. And she told us how much she made. I think she said it was either over 2 years, whatever, £800,000. And the way that Martin Knopfler does it, he shares half of it. Well, for that song anyway, because he wrote it. So he's giving her half. That's what he said to YouTube. Probably people that do covers of my song, I'll let them have half the money. So that's really good of him, I think. Martin Knopfler's a great guy, from what I've seen. And she's got 400,000. She does a lot more stuff. She'll be making a lot more than that, but it was really kind of her to tell us. And all the ones that tell us, who's the other one? Shelby Church, I think. It's really kind of them, because then you know what sort of money. But it's the government that should be looking at this, and these people are high taxpayers now, probably. So it's just slack thinking from the government. They're thinking the old way. You've got to be working in a coal mine, working down. You hate your job. That's tough. Your boss or whoever runs it, they're the entrepreneur, apparently. Really, entrepreneurs, it's code for a lot of times that people can't hold down a steady job, basically. Can you imagine Donald in USA holding down any steady job, working at McDonald's or toilet cleaner when he was in his early 20s or whatever? No. Let's see, 17. Yeah, I think everyone should have a bike. I think the bike's the best way to see the world. Especially e-bike now, because it makes it a lot easier. You can get by the boring parts or the hard parts, or if it's windy or whatever, and you can go a lot further. So e-bike, really. Because walking's too slow and hard, and you can walk with a bike as well. And a car is too fast, and you're just not in touch with your surroundings fully, unless you've got a convertible, I suppose. But then you'll probably be driving too fast and the wind will be blowing. I don't know why anybody likes convertibles, So everyone should have a bike, I would guess 90% of adults don't have a bike. You should have a bike, but also a car, Don't public transport, avoid that as much as you can. Definitely a car. Car and an e-bike. Yeah, just sort of vary your week, even spending £1 or £2. Get something from Poundland. Well, I'll try and think of things that, as I say, like a trifle or a 2 terabyte micro SD card from AliExpress. I don't know, get the idea. Treat yourself. Because Because what I find anyway is buying these things from AliExpress and that, it can be like Christmas basically, waiting for the parcel, you know. Oh, it's like Christmas. Yeah, that sort of thing. For AliExpress, because the AliExpress choice thing, you need to have £8, spend £8 to get free shipping. But what to do is just put lots of stuff in your cart, and then when you really want something, you've probably got other things to top up the cart to get you over the £8. You know, you can do that. I think with Temu it's £15. eBay, they don't have that. And eBay a lot of the time is still the same price, at least under £8 anyway, without that free shipping. Because AliExpress does include the tax when you're shopping. So it looks, yeah, AliExpress should let you add tax when you're shopping so you know the price. You know, less eBay are transparent with it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about anyway, you know. Yeah, get a cat plants, you know. A cat, you don't need it. You can keep it a house cat, but is that alright? Is that give it stimulating stuff or whatever, I don't know. Oh, as long as it's not cruel. Or plants, you know. Yeah, play spring. And I think you should put pictures on your wall as well. That can be things of places you've been or just art or your own art. Put your own art on the wall. I've bought stuff from Home Bargains about a year and a half ago. I've started to make classics on it. So is my mic still holding up? Yeah, actively relax, you know, that can be tensing up and relaxing you, as I said. Oh, you tense your buttocks and relax. Tense your buttocks, relax. Tense your buttocks, relax. That's all right. Or buy things, you know, especially Lidl and Aldi, middle of Lidl, you know, massager rings or whatever, tens machine, deep breathing, all these things, you know. You can even treat yourself, go to a massager. I would expect most of them to not be very good. When I say not very good, all right, but not very good, you know, 5 out of 10. They're really, you know, you'll need to look a bit for, that's the same in most businesses, you know, even doctors and judges and stuff, you know, a lot of them are probably not very good, but, or just okay. But you really want, because in football to do that, like Premier League football, top football, for a while they were all going to a German ligament fixer or whatever. But now I think they're all going to one in Texas or something like that. So your local ligament fixing physiotherapist or whatever isn't good enough for their football teams, you know. They feel that there's only one or two around the world, or one or two or three. Whereas probably your local one is okay to a standard, you know. They might even just be wrong anyway. You know, the footballers, but they're not prepared to just, you know, in the 1980s, they probably sent you to your local private doctor, but now they're going to Germany or Texas or whatever to have their ligaments looked at or whatever, even though they probably don't need to, or maybe they do, I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think self-help, as I said earlier, like, one, to try and make money, the most important thing. Two, it'll make you think about it. And three, it might help other people. It'll probably do all three things, you know. There's a lot of money in this, guys. Pile in. And you can do your own list. I'm using Google Docs for this. I'm using Google Slides. Google Slides. Google Slides. And 22, money is everything. You know. Let's see how... I'm trying to think of somebody who says money isn't important, you know. They're probably bestsellers of self-help, you know. Try for passive, definitely, you know. I mean, I believe that, what's that? basic income is definitely an idea worth exploring. I believe in the principle so that people can choose their way of topping that up. You know, it'll probably turn out to be a better way than just giving people money or whatever. You know, job seekers or whatever. If you give them a little amount, enough to pay their rent and stuff, and then they could sort of try and work out a way. Top that up. As I say, the guy that got jailed the other day, the government don't like him, but he was making 12k a year on Twitter. You know, right? Basic technology. I think this is basic psychology, but a lot of psychologists probably aren't aware of it. This is what I understand. Tense muscles and relax. You know, tense muscles, but relax. Tense your hamstrings. Relax. Deep breathing. Distraction. Distraction is doing things. So take your mind off it. List your fears in order. You could do other things like maybe jump out of a plane with a parachute, of course, with somebody who knows how to open a parachute. You know, maybe make a list of that, things to do. Maybe you can walk a southern up. No, you can run the West Highland Way. They do a run every year. People do it in 24 hours. One guy done it in 35 hours, I think, this year, or 34 hours. You know, that sort of thing. And then loud noises, that gives you an idea of your baseline anxiety response situation. How anxiety you are. In the old days, I would have put for this, when your phone rings, do you jump? But your phone doesn't ring anymore because you've not got a land phone on it. You know, so if you hear a loud noise, a car alarm, or somebody slamming their door, do you jump? Well, you shouldn't jump. You should be in a state of deep general relaxation. So do all these other things to get to that, you know. Yeah, this is a new thing that I've added, squat sit. I think this is a good idea. Like, if you're in an office or something, you can do the other things, but there I'm getting out of my seat again. I think that's the way you're meant to, you know, because there's a lot of time, like, you know, you're putting your washing in your washing machine, you probably bend your back. What you should be is you should be down squatting, because it's nice and comfy. You want to get used to that. It lets your back, your spine, totally. Your spine's not squashed up. And as I say, I think it's probably the way we sat before we invented chairs, you know, while we were around the fire, if we'd invented that by then. Be ambidextrous, yeah, there you go. So I'm left-sided, so that'll be my right. Because all my tension in my neck, my long, permanent tension is on my left side. Left neck side, plus my left scalp, my left ear, my left hamstring, buttock, probably back. When I lie on my back, that's another thing about when you're lying on your back. You'll find that you're a bit contorted, actually. You maybe weren't aware. And what I find is when I lie on my back, I'm continually fidgeting in a way that you can't even see. You know, it's internal, sort of. I don't mean in a good way, because the good way is where you get bubbles or things give way. I've made it, it's as if my left side, my hip wants to go back, and probably that's the way I should be, but to me it feels abnormal. So in my left shoulder and stuff, you know, and I'm hoping over time, because I think about lying on your back in bed, just practice it first, you know, like as soon as you go into bed for the first hour, or as long as you can. If you can't stay any longer like that, just go to your side or whatever. But then you've done an hour, maybe in the morning, and you can try again. Like 5 minutes of lying on your back's better than 2 hours lying on your side, in my opinion, you know, because you're just making your neck all sore when you wake up. And, yeah, and finally, Remember to be nice to yourself and to others, of course. And see, I'm feeling this just now because I've been going on about positive things for an hour or something, you know, and I've been reinforcing it to myself. Okay, guys, so that's it. We're coming to the end. I might put this under Patreon when I get Patreon going. No, I'm only joking. I don't like Patreon really, you know. I want to try and make money and it's all out there. How to be as successful and happy as me. 20 ways, version 1, August 24. And now you may leave the room. Good